the question, I'll take Kunal, is why such a sharp move? And it's a fairly dramatic move. What is that telling us? Because yes, things like an election result which is priced in, etc., is very well known, largely known. What do you put down as a reason for the sharp move?
Yeah, I think definitely, since majority of the events are where we have passed those events, the kind of volatility what we had seen in the market in the last week, now the things have settled down on the global front as well. So I think whatever volatility what we had a little bit because of the geopolitical tension, that also settled down. And now that's where market is, we have seen the correction in India rates. Obviously, the election result is what market has priced in most of it. Probably after that, market would take a call and we'll see the momentum coming back in the markets. But till that, I'm expecting a pre-election rally to continue. I expect Nifty to touch its all-time high levels as well. And Bank Nifty is something which I'll keep on my radar because we have banking results still lined up. So the heavyweights like ICICI, Axis, they are still left with the results. So for Bank Nifty, it is very important to stay above 48,000. If we continue to sustain there, we might head towards 49 on the upside as well.
Yeah, Kunal, what would be your top picks this afternoon?
My top pick in today's trading session, we have seen specifically the mid cap and the small cap space doing very well. On the futures front, what I feel the energy space is looking very good. So IEX would be my pick. Here we have seen a strong breakout on the technical charts as well. Since the last 2 to 3 days, base formation was done and now a follow-up move has been seen. So I'm expecting IEX at least to move towards the levels of 160 in the short term, and eventually it should go towards 164, 165 levels as well. So IEX is something which can buy at the current levels, keeping a stop loss of 147 and looking for targets of 160 to 165 on the upside.
Just before we get on to other things, Kunal, just wondering this. There are two ways to look at VIX, right? And I know you spoke about it, but I'm just wondering, there is an argument being made that this points towards a very swift sharp up move ahead as well on the Nifty. Could it well happen that we might see substantially higher levels, 200, 300 points higher in the next 2-3 sessions? Also, I mean, if that were to happen, we might see some unwinding on the call side as well, which are very heavily concentrated at 22,500 and 600.
Yeah, two things, Neeraj. Yes, you will expect a sharp momentum. As I mentioned, we are likely to see all-time high levels for Nifty, and that's where momentum would come in. Firstly, as you mentioned, yes, the resistance is there at 22,500, 600 zone, where these are the two strikes where the call writers are still active. So I'm expecting that unwinding to come. But one more data which you need to keep on your radar is the put writers. The put writers, the highest open interest is placed at 22,000. The next is 22,200. We need to see the shift in open interest getting higher and higher toward 22,300, 400 mark. So once that starts to happen, you will see eventually the call writer unwinding and the markets getting momentum. So today's trading session and probably the next trading session where 22,300, 400 is something, the put strike which you should keep on your radar. That is where if aggressive open interest is added, we are likely for that big move what you're talking about, 300, 400 points in the next 1 to 2 days.
Okay, so that's the view there. And Vodafone Idea has had a bumper run in the session today, a short squeeze of sorts that has come in. Wonder if Indus Tower has gotten onto the act as well. It was quiet in the morning, relatively still quiet, but still 2.74% higher. So big show really out here. And Tamanna, in some sense you could argue that in Vodafone's case, maybe it was predictable because with the kind of institutional interest that came in, and I wonder why people went short in the first place, but there's a bit of a short squeeze out there. But what's working for Vodafone is working beautifully for Bharti Airtel. That's the big thing. I mean, the unsung hero of the telecom rally for the last 1 month has to be Bharti Airtel. It's had a wonderful move and a safe move because it's the safest of the telcos if you want to really play the telco theme.
I would argue, actually, it's not an argument because I'm agreeing with you, but plus, what is also working for Vodafone is what is working for Jio. And all the commentary that we've seen, that Jio is going to be the next big driver for a giant like RIL, if those tariff increases are going to come. I mean, if tariff increases do come for Vodafone with the kind of customer base it has, it will work out actually very, very well. There might still be some sort of fight left in this player, which has seen so many
certainly.
twists and turns, so many renames, but still has its loyal customer base. And now with a whole new sort of avatar, it looks like it might just come back.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people who are on Vodafone will experience good 4G and 5G in days to come. And that might help the stock earnings per se as well, because that migration will clearly help. But yeah, it's been a stunning move by Vodafone for sure. The standout poster boy. Like we said, the Tejas may be the stock of the day, but the star player today has to be Vodafone Idea. Really strong move. Kunal, on the charts, an Airtel, a Vodafone, even a Indus Tower, how do these look?
Yeah, I think if you look at the entire space, they have been doing quite well since the last 1 month. Specifically, if we talk about Indus Tower, there has been a sharp rally from the lower levels. Around 190, 200, the bottom was formed, and from those levels, the stock has been continuously moving higher. So I think the entire space looks very good. Specifically, if I talk about Indus Tower here, the kind of move that we have got, this is probably a time where there's a resistance which is placed over here at 360, 365. So if anybody is holding it from the lower levels, I think good time to book some profit and continue to hold the rest of the position. The next level is 327, 330 zone. So if you get a dip towards that level, again, that could be a good opportunity to enter into fresh long trades.
Stock to discuss is, of course, Reliance, which has come off quite rapidly today. I mean, it stayed lower, let me put it that way, but it's trading at the low point of the day. Kunal, for somebody who was long Reliance early morning, is this move downwards and closing in almost at the low point of the day reason enough to liquidate those longs, or are you constructive on Reliance?
Yeah, I think if you look at overall Reliance, it has been in a very sideways trend. We were waiting for that breakout about 2980, and we triggered that point. But again, we have seen selling pressure from the higher levels post the results. So I think if somebody is holding it from the lower levels on the downside, keep 2900 as a stop loss. If that is taken out, then exit your long positions, because that is where the 50 EMA for the stock also lies. And if that is breached, we might see the correction getting sharper on Reliance. On the higher end, 2980, as I mentioned, when Reliance needs to surpass this level on a closing basis. Once that is done, we might see the rally continuing toward 3100 levels on the upside. So I think at the current levels, if you have already long positions, keep 2900 as a stop loss. If you want to initiate a fresh position, wait for a breakout about 2980, then fresh long positions can be cleared.
That's Onasa 8.5. Now some buckets of strength. So we were talking about Vodafone just a while back. Look at Vodafone, look at Grasim, you look at any of the Aditya Birla Fashion, this and maybe even Ultratech, I don't know, but the entire bucket of Aditya Birla Group stocks have done really well in the session today. Kunal, you may not look at some of these stocks in this fashion, but individually from an ABFRL, Vodafone, we've spoken about Vodafone of course, but a Grasim, maybe Aditya Birla, Sun Life AMC, but this whole bucket of stocks have done well. Is there something that stands out on the charts or the derivative positions?
I think multiple stocks which are looking very good even from the current levels. First, I would highlight your AB Capital. I think if you look at the listing price for AB Capital, which was listed in 2017, it was somewhere around 240, 250 zone. We are trading at 216. So we are almost nearing to the listing levels as well. I think I'm expecting that levels to be touched in the very short term. So 230, 240 levels is what I'm expecting for EV Capital. Already a strong breakout on the technical charts that has been visible with volume. So this rally will continue on the higher end. The second one is ABFRL. It has been a massive underperformer since a long time. And finally, we have seen the volume-based breakout that has come in. 265, which is the hurdle zone from where earlier multiple rejections were seen. In fact, in today's trading session, we surpassed that level of 265. We went toward 270. So I think in the last 1 to 2 days, we have seen a sharp rally. One can start accumulating even at the current levels. If you get any dips into the stock, utilize that to buy. On the lower end now, 230, 240 is a very strong support zone. So the stock will see multiple bounces even from those levels. I'm expecting the stock to at least go towards the levels of 300, 312 on the upside. So ABFRL and AB Capital both are looking very good on the chart perspective.
All right. So Hudson Agro there, of course, numbers also looking fantastic, and that's why you've seen that kind of an up move, triple-digit growth. Kunal, is this a stock that you like, or would you still be constructive on it at this level?
See, I think this is one stock where we have seen buying momentum since the last 2 days. You can see the major part of the correction for the stock is over. This is something which on the technical charts is looking very good. 1200 is the next resistance zone for the stock. Again, on the levels of 1200, we have seen multiple rejections and the stock has corrected. But the kind of base formation it has happened in the last 2 to 3 days, it has surpassed its 50 EMA as well as 100 EMA with volumes. So I'm expecting that 1200 resistance also to be taken out in the near term. So if you're trading for a short-term perspective, look for a targets of 1200 on the upside. For positionally, I think it can at least go towards the levels of 1350, 1400 on the upside.
Is Kunal a BTST or an STBT as the case may be?
Yeah, I think overall we have seen some good action even in the FNO space. So the kind of stocks which are buzzing right now, my focus will be again the stock what we discussed is ABFRL. So I think we have seen some correction from the higher levels. So I think a good opportunity to again enter into the trade. 262, 260 is where the stock is currently trading. So one can again initiate BTST at the current levels for the stock, keeping a stop loss of 254 and looking for a targets of 270 on the upside.
Okay.
You've had a lot of move there completely on even a Suzlon. I want to mark out a Suzlon. I want to mark out, all of those spaces in the renewables as well, which have been doing fairly well today. Is this something that you're tracking, Kunal?
Something is what I'm not tracking much, but I think if you look at technical charts perspective, the stock is in a sideways trend. We are seeing rejection at higher levels around 45, 46 zone, and on the lower level, the buying is visible around 36, 37. So it's stuck in a very broad range, a break on either side, either above 46 or on the lower end below 35, 36 level. Then we will see trending moves coming, or else we might see the stock trading in this range only.
Range-bound trade on the markets is well today. What it's also telling me is that our politicians are pretty astute at investing as well. Probably they have someone helping them do it, but it shows the faith in that.
Yeah.
And that also tells you maybe why BSE is such a rage, because everyone is investing. 13% up today on BSE. It's hit a 52-week high. It's at an all-time high. Kunal, are you tracking what's next on the charts for a BSE today? We're trying to figure out why or what has changed. Is there a large trade, etc.? But for now, are you liking BSE?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, the stock is into an uncharted territory. So definitely you will see higher levels coming going forward. The kind of up move what we have got. A fresh breakout, especially in today's trading session after almost a 10 days consolidation period. So this could again lead the stock even higher towards the mark of 3300, 3330 on the upside. So I still expect some more upside in the stock in the near term. Entering into fresh positions at the current levels, the risk reward would not match. So if you get any dips in the stock, utilize that. But if you are already holding, keep on continuing holding the stock. There is still 100 to 150 points upside left on the stock.
Dharmesh as well as Kunal, thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time out and being with us. Really appreciate your time. Let's start wrapping up the markets and very quickly.